If you have the big guns, spread on up. I am the small axe. Spread on up, coming to chop you down. Spread on up to chop you down. Spread on up. The big guns. Don't forget about the big guns. You know, this weekend I had an event, and with all this mirrorless talk, because you know I've just got my M50 and I'm loving my M50 and I'm trying to shoot everything with my M50, and I think that's one of the mistakes that we make when we get a new camera. We try and do everything with that new camera, even if it's not really meant for that area of photography. And this week, I was covering the Windrush 70th anniversary of the docking of the Empire Windrush. And a little quick history for those of you who don't know. The Caribbean, our parents and some of our grandparents came from the Caribbean to England, to the UK in the late 40s, early 50s on a ship called the Empire Windrush. And they came to help rebuild the country after it had been bombed by the Germans in the Second World War. So, you know, they came up influx. An invite was put out by the British government at the time, and an influx of our parents who were living in the West Indies came and settled here in the UK and got a culture shock of their life because they were coming from the sun into what was mostly grey skies and bricks and cold and damp, but they made it work. You know, they took a bold, brave step, which, you know, I often think about it. If I would be able to do something like that, if our generation would be able to just go, not knowing where they were coming to, knowing where they were coming from, and just make a go of it, you know. So, you know, I have to salute the Windrush generation for taking that bold step and moving their whole lives and families and existence over into the UK. Anyway, as I said, this weekend, it was the 70th anniversary of that first docking of the Empire Windrush in the UK, and a lot of the immigrants, as they were called, settled right here in Brixton. A lot of them found their first jobs right here in Brixton, and hence we have a space now to commemorate that time called Windrush Square. It's called Windrush Square, you know, obviously after that epic trip and journey and undertaking that was done. So this weekend, 23rd of June 2018 marks the 70th anniversary of that. So there was the Brixton Cultural Archive put on an event, and there were gatherings and there was music being played and there were artists. So of course I thought, being a Brixtonite from back in the day and a photographer, videographer, multiple media manager from back in the day, I'll cover the event. So I went along and I bought my old trusty old DSLRs that are not feeling much love these days because mirrorless, my M50 is getting all the love. But these two machines right here, 5D Mark II and 7D Mark I, is what I normally use when I'm doing events because, you know, DSLRs, batteries last forever. You know, they just hit the spot with I've got a 2470 f4 on here for subjects that might be moving and unpredictable. I've got my Prime 135 for sniper shots, picking off people who may be right over the other side and I can't move really quickly. These two work really well together. So I brought these two down to the event and we got some really nice pictures. And I'd actually not forgotten what it felt like. It was a great feeling using these again, you know, after using the mirrorless M50 for so long. And some of the pictures, if I show you some of the pictures that we got, you know, some nice snaps of the older generation. They came down, they weren't down in the numbers that I'd expected, but it was nice to see them. They set up a little domino area. The older generation love dominoes. This is their thing. It's not really something that I understand or love, but they're really passionate about it in the same way that maybe we're passionate about the World Cup, for example. You know, they have their little teams and their strategies, and they sit down and they slam the dominoes down on the table, and they go flying in the air. And obviously, you know, if you're not into dominoes, it's not something that you're going to understand. But they really enjoy it. So it was great, you know, just getting some snaps of them in their little strategies, doing their 4-4-2s and their, you know, false number 9s and all that sweeper system and that kind of thing. So it was really nice, you know, seeing them out there in numbers, you know, enjoying themselves, and you know, they came here, and it's kind of like a letting off, a community letting off of all that pressure that they were put under when they came here to drive the buses and take control in certain jobs of the NHS that many people didn't want to do. So, you know, once again, respect due for that. You know, the event was nice. Quite a lot of people turned out, and there's music, and that was one part I really enjoyed, actually. You know, the DJs came down. They were playing hits from back in the days that I remember coming up. The Blue Beat and the Trojan, all those labels, classics. And as small as Jamaica is, I have to say, you know, the way Jamaica's shaped the music of the world, really, it's really quite amazing for such a small island. And, you know, all these blue beats and stuff that people are sampling even nowadays to make their 21st century hits, you know, hats off, salute to the Windrush generation. So the DJ was there, he was Jerry Dammers from the Specials, you know, and he played big tribute because the group, the Specials, played a lot of blue beat, and they got a lot of influences from that. And it was really good to see the tribute that Jerry gave back to that Windrush generation. You know, he even admitted that his success, nobody would know of him, he said, if it wasn't for the Windrush generation. So salute again. Salute to Jerry Dammers, salute to the Windrush generation for, you know, and our that history, that link, that reggae music that means so much to us as a community that somehow in this day and age seems to be kind of, in my opinion, somewhat lacking. But it was all good. I was there with my 7D, with my 135. I managed to clack off some images. I managed to clack off some of those images that, you know, this 135 lens, images coming off the 7D without even, you know, processing them. Beautiful. The colors, sharpness, excellent. You know, and obviously swapping between the two cameras and getting some close-ups, people smiling, people going about their business, doing their thing. It was just a nice little occasion for me to get back in the groove. Aisha kind of lost his groove, maybe, with the M50. So I'm back again with the two cameras. It was all good. There was lots of children down there, the next generation as well. And it was good to see that kind of handover ceremony, if you can call it a ceremony, a handover to the next generation, where they're gonna take us, who knows, with Brexit on the horizon. But, you know, my job was just to be there and document it. I did. So, you know, we caught the children doing some nice moves. It was interesting. The DJ was playing some ska, and they were doing some like hip hop moves, and what I remember as hip hop moves, spinning on their heads and windmill and all that kind of stuff. And I'd never really seen that done to ska. So it's always interesting to see how the next generation take what we have or what we had and refashion it and repackage it and take it into the next zone. So it was all good. It was a nice little event. I enjoyed being there again. Back with my two guns, my 7 and my 5. It's a mistake, I think, as I was saying at the top, sometimes when we get a new camera to want to ditch what we already have. And I think we missed the point of photography because there is no perfect camera. There's no perfect one camera. So building an arsenal of cameras is really, I think, the direction we should be moving. These are my event photography cameras, and I will use them for events. My M50 is my street photography camera, so I will use it for street photography. I won't use these. I have a couple of 70Ds that I use for video. When I'm shooting, there's an event that I do where we shoot bands, and I use a couple of 70Ds. They're great for video. The dual pixel autofocus is amazing. So I will grab my 70Ds when it comes to that kind of shooting bands and making that kind of product. So the arsenal's coming together. My 70s for video, my DSLRs, 5Ds and 7Ds for events, and lastly the M50, the new mirrorless M50 for street photography. Don't you just love it when a plan comes together? And it's all good. It's all good. Trust me, it's all good. Don't you just love that sound?